Wiggity wiggity whack, we are back. It's another episode of the Three Speech Podcast. I am as ever the mad lad of Jihad. To my left on the screen, it's Mr. Controlled Opposition, formerly Mr. Hate Speech.
Hi Darius, thanks for only bringing half your face to the podcast. You know, like fit your massive head in the fucking camera, you massive headed freak.
I'm trying to sort out the camera and making his triumphant return.
He's back.
He's back after being away for some time. It's the Gorilla Vanilla. It's Mooch.
Salam, brothers. How are we? Do you like my little? I've converted.
You look like Andrew Tate.
Yeah. I like my little muzzy hat.
Do you watch much Andrew Tate stuff? You both seem like you'd be Andrew Tate's core audience.
I'm a long-time member of the Hustlers University, which is something I wanted to talk to you two about. It's a great program, and if you join, I get £5.
Is it like Herbalife? Do they get money?
I imagine. I don't know. I'm not actually a member.
Oh my god! Herbalife for incels. Herbal incel life.
Herbal incel life.
I think Andrew Tate's really cool. He's a cool guy.
I think he's fucking funny.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing that he does is like, because there is obviously like there's a total like a vacuum left in society where there used to be like some sort of support and encouragement given to young men, and like now there's none of that. Now young men just get shat on for everything. Everything's young men's fault. It's like everyone's let's empower women. Women need to be empowered. I think they've had enough empowerment. You know what I mean? So Andrew Tate's come in. Andrew Tate's come in and he's like filled that void by telling them, you know, instead of like shitting on them and saying, "Oh, you're evil, fucking nasty, fucking evil shit." He's like, "Yeah, no, you're cool guys, and what you need to do is be a bit more misogynist."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's quite. He's speaking to a disenfranchised young male audience,
like me.
No, young. You could be Andrew Tate's dad.
I'm a woman. I could be Andrew Tate's dad. Andrew Tate's fucking 38 or something. He's nearly as old as Darius.
This son of a bitch. He's older than me. When I'm
Darius said that without moving his lips.
Yeah,
Darius is now ventriloquist.
Yeah, I thought we'd achieved telepathy.
Oh my god! I'm not being funny, but Leo, you kind of have the face of a ventriloquist puppet. I feel like so Darius, you speak, and then Leo, you move your mouth.
Hello, my name is Leo KEARSE. I am a presenter on Headliners at 11 p.m. Watch it on all your digital channels.
Oh my god, this is the new double act.
This is the worst internet connection of all time.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what you get for living in Scotland, Darius.
Well, I'm actually in London.
Oh, you're in London?
I'm in London.
Why is your internet so shit in London?
Oh my god.
To be fair, it's because I'm 4G Wi-Fi in it.
Look, every time your internet connection drops, Mooch puts another hat on.
How many hats do I have? I don't know.
On your end, the camera's clear because all I can see right now, it looks like Mondrian paintings, just square blocks like Super Mario over 8-bit.
No, it looks fine. It looks fine.
Well, you frozen
you sound all right. You sort of look a bit like a Greek fisherman who's smiling at his catch of the day.
Do you think caught you in a frozen? Because I'm using the camo camera app. Let me turn that off and just use the Camo app and see if that's better.
What is Camo? What is Camo?
I don't know.
Right. That like there's a camera on your phone. You don't need to use an app.
I'm on my laptop. I'm using the phone. I've now switched cameras again. Is that better?
Yeah.
Well, there's movement. We can see what's going on.
Yeah.
This is fine. No one tunes in for the HD quality. They tune in for the chaos and the shitting on trains.
They're getting that.
Yeah. We should play, man, because that you know that thing, the Ollie Crease thing, the sort of piss taking me, and they did the piss take of the Free Speech podcast. I don't know if we can play it on this, but man, it's so funny.
I think just with the internet connections here, what we should do is just get the editor to cut in Ollie Crease.
Drop it in. I know what happens in the one that, so I can talk about it like we've just played it on screen. So it opens and I'm like being all like, Elon's got a new conspiracy theory, and then Nico's like, I believe it. They do. Like, it better be a black guy doing Nico. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I believe it. Better be a black guy doing Nico's voice, or that's racist. But they do his voice really well. Really sounds like it might actually be Nico. Do you think that's why Nico couldn't turn up to this podcast? He's too busy making a cartoon, taking the piss out of us. But yeah, so Nico says, I believe it. And then he also says, I believe the earth is flat and hollow. And that's a funny line. That's a funny line.
The earth not flat and hollow.
And then Darius is like, listen, Nico, man. We try to make a sporadic and inconsistent podcast.
I mean, whoever it is doing it.
Man.
Listens to the
they got us. Yeah, they got us. They know exactly that we're sporadic and inconsistent. That's our USP.
And what's the opposite of sporadic?
Sporadic.
Consistent.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we are.
Unsporadic. That's the opposite.
Regimented.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I got some new kit.
Do one more thing. You two talk about Leo's new kit.
I got new stuff.
And
I got new stuff. Look at the things. Yeah, see if I can get this without knocking everything over. I got new kit. I got this thing. Look at that.
You got a Zoom
H8.
H8.
I think it
is.
Yeah, so I got it because it looks like a sort of weird like spider.
It looks like some sort of arachnid or some sort.
Yeah, there it is. It's pretty cool. And it works.
Yeah.
And it's got a screen. It's got a touch screen. Whereas my old one I've had it for about 10 years and it doesn't have a touch screen.
No.
So I like this one better.
What are you talking about?
Look what I got, Darius.
He's got a recorder.
That looks. It looks like a recorder that's mutated.
Yeah, it has. It's like got alien DNA. So I do my own podcast on that. And then I do this podcast.
That was an Ollie Crease bit. That's an Ollie Crease bit. I do my own podcast. It's called One Speech. Oh my god! It's like it's like the Mayan calendar. It's predicting what's happening.
Yeah. Also, like everybody's messaging me, be like, "Oh, I've seen this. Is this you? Are you doing it?" It's like, obviously, I'm not doing a fucking cartoon thing, taking the piss out of myself. Number one, why would I take the piss out of myself? Number two, do you think I've got the time and energy to make something that looks that good? You know what I mean? Like the production values in that are far higher than anything I've been involved in. Yeah, and it's funny. That's right, Darius. It's funny. It's Although, man, the thing is, whoever's behind it, because everybody's like, oh, it's this person, it's that person. Man, it's got to be somebody, like, the people that I've been told are probably behind it. There's no way it's them, because it's funny. But they're not funny.
That is the dilemma.
Do you think it's Joe
Jacobs?
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that, actually. Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think
you don't.
I don't, because my voice isn't good. He'd do my voice much.
He's really good at voices, and he already does a Scottish voice for me, and it doesn't sound like that.
And he does my voice, and it doesn't sound like that. I think it's although I think it might have something to do with you, Mooch. Who is it? Tell us now.
Who is it, Mooch? They got too much inside information, Mooch.
What do you mean inside
information? Down
the river. We post it on the bloody YouTube every week. What inside information is it? Oh, sorry. Was it a secret that this podcast is sporadic and inconsistent?
How did they find that out, Mooch?
We post every week.
How on earth did they? No, I would love to know. Actually, I quite like the romanticism of and the mystery of not knowing who it is.
Yeah,
it's kind of because I was reading one of the things. I don't know if they love or hate the podcast, or love or hate the stuff that we do, and that's
I bet they hate this podcast. this episode.
They're obviously huge fans of me. They obviously masturbate to pictures of me. And
well, I don't know. I think you do have, like, I'm a fan of you, but I don't agree with everything you say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't agree with.
Oh, you disagree with me about nonsense? You think school should be full of nonsense?
Mooch loves nonsense.
Here we go. Here we go. I've missed this pod.
Please, can I get a nonce out of here, please?
Did you see Joe Biden? Man, so yesterday they had there was some sort of thing. Joe Biden at the White House. I don't have the stuff in front of me, but Joe Biden, it was like he signed into law something that would protect like trans rights or something across all states and protect like gender transitioning and kids and stuff. And he came out and he said in his speech, he did this weird speech. I posted it on Twitter. Obviously forgot it in the 24 hours since then, but he did this weird speech where he said all children have the right to sort of transition their gender and be whatever gender their primary school teacher says they should be. And anybody who disagrees, anybody who criticises the process or the doctors doing the transitions is racist and anti-Semitic because it's all part of the same thing. It reminded me when the Canadian guy Justin Trudeau, yeah, he said the same sort of thing. He's like, these people, these anti-vaxxers. Yeah, these anti-vaxxers are all racist and anti-Semitic and homophobic and stuff. It's like, what? No, they're talking about vaccine mandates. It's not the same thing. But they say, oh no, it's all part of the same thing. Like people who are against vaccines are quite often racist. It's like, no, my racism is completely separate to my vaccine beliefs. You know what I mean? It just so happens he's right, but you know, it's totally separate.
Why is it racist to think maybe children shouldn't transition before they're
Well, if you don't know that, Darius, I'm not going to explain it to you. It's not worth it. You're just obviously racist or ignorant or all three.
Yeah, I'm ignorant. Yeah. I don't care. It's not my kids. Let them do what they want. That's my policy. Let them do what they want.
Let them do.
Yeah, but then they're gonna be all like, oh, but nobody stopped me from transitioning just because I wanted to transition.
I told you, this is my trans policy. I think everyone should be allowed to do whatever they want. I think puberty blockers should be available to children. However, they should be given under the proviso. For example, in the UK, I'm not talking about America, it's different. But in the UK, the NHS will support you fully in your transition for the rest of your life. However, if you decide 10 years down the line that it's not for you, you've got no legal recompense, and the NHS will not pay or help you detransition. So every act you make going in fully. And if you're 100% sure you're a woman, which you said you are, then that shouldn't be a hard deal, a hard thing to agree to. So that's my kind of position on it.
What you want is commitment.
Yeah, I want commitment. I said, listen, if you're sure this is your thing, commit to it. But then everything's explained to them. They sit down with their guardians or whoever, and it says,
but how do you explain that to a 3-year-old?
Use the sock puppets.
What?
Yeah, sock puppets.
You cut the penis off one of the sock puppets and say, "This is you. This is you." When we take you to the doctor, because we've decided we want to win the woke middle class dinner table conversation. So it's not good enough that you're gay or whatever. We're also going to make you transgender instead.
Well, yeah, but it's their body, their kids. Let them do what they want. Anyway, let's move on from that because we're just going over the same circle. Mooch, what was?
Oh, you got some better to talk about then, Darius.
Yeah, I do actually. That's about to get.
Well, why don't you tell us what it is? Are you seeking into it?
I was gonna ask Mooch first of all what the last pod he was on that we did together. Then I was gonna say a lot's happened since the last time we all did a pod. The Twitter files have been released, and the mainstream media is just completely silent on what actually is a real threat on democracy, whether you're left or right. Twitter files have come out. That's huge news.
But I think also, that is what. Let's touch on that. So that is a huge story, but also something similar was admitted by Mr. Facebook. What's his name? Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
On Joe Rogan's podcast. He admitted basically doing exactly the same thing, suppressing stories at the whim of the FBI. And nothing was made of that either. And like, so you've got it from Elon saying, "Cool, look, we've got records of this happening on email here." And it is happening on both sides.
It was a bit. No. It was a bit different. So the Twitter files, the releases were like, Zuckerberg was like, we remove stuff when we're told by the FBI to remove it, and it was a bit like ethereal. The Twitter files are very precise, and you can see they made a concerted effort to go after like Donald Trump or notable
and silence conservative voices, and they've got all the sort of they've got all the discussions on email or on Slack or whatever these nerds use to talk to each other. So you can see the decisions being made.
The TB was quite explicit with it, saying that it was happening to both sides, but overwhelmingly there is more of a left-wing sort of employee base at Twitter, and there were more favors being put forward or being done for the Democrats than the Republicans. I
mean, I think it had a direct hand in the election outcome.
Absolutely, genuinely. Man. Well, I mean, they silenced, so the New York Post is one of the oldest newspapers in America, and they silenced their report on the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. And that scandal was, it didn't just have, people always look at the crack and the whores and stuff like that. But he's getting paid $50,000 a month by a Ukrainian resource company, and he's a lawyer. He's a lawyer and a crackhead. He doesn't know anything about geological strata and oil depositories or anything. So they're obviously just paying him $50,000 a month for access to the president, for access to the Democrat Party. So it's so corrupt and sleazy.
Access to the big guy.
Yeah. The big dog.
Big dog. But what's surprising is that even though this has come out, and I think it's like, well, this is pretty notable, then the mainstream media, so to say, are reporting on what Elon Musk getting booed at a Chappelle show as opposed to, we doctored we doctored it so that like a sitting president could be removed. Meanwhile, ISIS can still be on there.
Also, there's the latest one, which is about noncery, isn't it? There was the latest Twitter files releases basically that there was known accounts that were putting out videos of abuse, and the videos were getting deleted, but the account was not getting shut down. So it's kind of like, surely that is a fairly obvious next step to do. Okay, cool. We'll take the video down, but give them another chance.
Whereas if you say something like slightly right wing or something, you say, I support Donald Trump or whatever, then your account gets
Alex Jones got kicked off for saying grab your rifles or something like that.
Trump got kicked off for saying, I wish all the patriots a nice day or something. You know what I mean? It's like the least inflammatory thing he's ever said.
His last tweet was, I'm not going to be going to the inauguration. That was it. Yeah.
And that was seen as like some sort of attack, it's ridiculous. It obviously didn't, objectively meet any standards for incitement. But what's really interesting is, so the Democrats were saying, their head of safety, Joel Roth, he was saying, we've got to silence all these conservative voices out of safety. There's so much child sexual exploitation going on Twitter. And he was doing nothing. When Elon took over the company, he found out that the child sexual exploitation segment department, whatever it's called, had been defunded. There's nobody looking at child sexual exploitation. You'd think, man, if you're looking at safety, if you're looking at preventing harm, that's going to be your number one place. Not worrying about somebody having this guy's got a right wing opinion. That could be dangerous. It's fucking mental. And also, man, people dug through Joel Roth, this former head of safety at Twitter. They dug through his tweets. They dug through his stuff that he's written, his PhD thesis and stuff like that. The guy's a total fucking pro-nonce nutcase. The guy's all like, the guy's all like, should children be allowed to have sexual relationships with their teachers? And it's like, well, it's 2022. They don't have a fucking choice. But that is the level of nonsense he was like, looking at.
No,
that sparks a good debate.
No. Look, it's hard to do this on remotely because you don't know when people stop and you're talking over each other.
Yeah.
But
Darius, what are you looking at?
I'm trying to look at you. I'm trying to make sure that I'm listening. My flipping laptop's so shit. I'm listening as well. I'm agreeing with Mooch. I'm just waiting for you to finish your bit before I join in, so we're not all talking over each other.
So I do agree with what you're saying, that this Yol guy just is odd. But I also do think that
But you think that's a good thing?
No, but I think Elon was using snippets potentially out of context from his thesis or something like that. I haven't read the whole thesis. I don't know what the fuck was on about. But
I've read the whole thesis.
Okay.
I read it. It was titled "Bumming Children Through P10 to P17
and Good Times in Russia."
And his argument, he begins his thesis. He goes, "I think it should be allowed to bum children from the age of 2 up. Anything below 2 is too young, but 2 and up is fine." And I'm going to propagate this on Twitter. And I read that, and there's no reason that I would lie.
What sort of a fucking name is Yol? I've never heard that.
Yeah, no one's...
Oh, is it Jewish?
I reckon.
That's Noel.
Yoel. Like Joel.
Is it?
Yoel. Yeah, but that's not your real name. Your real name's like Moocheropades or something.
Moocheropades.
What is it?
Musharafia.
Musharafia.
Yeah.
That's a cool. That's a cool name. Musharafia.
Yol.
All right, you know what else has been happening in New Zealand? They took the baby away from the parents who didn't want the baby to have vax blood when she was having an operation.
And they gave it to a Twitter executive to have sex with.
Well, they took someone's baby away.
Well, you didn't hear this story. So these parents, I think the girl like anti-vaxxers were all over it. Basically, this girl needs an operation or a transplant or something, but they won't give it to her. Parents said, "We don't want it. She's got a problem with her heart." But we don't want it if she has to have unvaxxed. She has to have unvaxxed blood, right? Yeah. And they went, no. She has to have whatever blood she's given, or that includes vax blood. They took it to court, and the New Zealand government took the baby off of the parents for the period of the child's operation. But I mean, it's a weird one because it's kind of like the Jehovah's Witnesses. If you kind of take away the hysteria, it's like, what happens if Jehovah's Witnesses kids need blood transfusion? Does the state take them away as well?
I think so.
So it's not that kind of.
Can Jehovah's Witnesses not have blood transfusions?
Yeah, they don't want.
Yeah, they can't have blood transfusions because of religious stuff.
It's part of the reason Prince died, apparently.
Really? I heard Prince had AIDS. The Prince of AIDS because he was super skinny at the end.
I thought he died of a fentanyl overdose or something.
Yeah, but he was super skinny.
Well,
I don't think that's AIDS. Like, if it's just like, because Magic Johnson has got AIDS and he ain't skinny.
Oh yeah, but Magic Johnson's like, he's the exception that proves the rule. Actually, he's
rich because Prince was fairly fucking rich too, and I think whatever PrEP medication that
it's because he died because he didn't take the blood transfusion.
Yeah,
Prince.
I know somebody.
Jehovah's Witness. Prince.
Yeah, he was a big time Jehovah's Witness.
Ah.
I know somebody in Scotland who's got HIV and they're fat. And it's like, man, how much of a fat shit would you have to be be fat and have HIV? HIV is probably the only thing keeping him alive. Like, it's just lowering his weight.
Prince died from a accidental fentanyl overdose. Apparently.
Yeah.
That's what Prince died from. Man, that fentanyl, that is like, you shouldn't take drugs because fentanyl is deadly. And you know what fentanyl's made? Do you know where fentanyl's manufactured?
China. China.
You know what? Fentanyl's another thing. Like deliberately, it's like TikTok. It's like sent to the West to like. It's like didn't we do this with opium or something? Like didn't the West do this with opium back in the day?
There was the opium wars because the Chinese refused to let the British sell opium to their people or something like that.
Well, now they're doing it back to us.
Yeah, but both with social media and actually fentanyl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is fentanyl an actual drug that you take, or is it just something they cut other drugs with?
I had fentanyl.
Was it nice?
I had an operation, and they put you under with fentanyl. It's a legit
nice?
drug. I don't know.
It's very powerful.
Fentanyl. I don't think it's fentanyl. The Dream Cream. I've forgotten what
the Dream. Oh, proper. The Michael Jackson had.
Yeah. It's Man, I think I've got COVID again.
Have you got COVID?
Well, I'm dying. I've got a gig tonight. So
are you ill?
Yeah.
Where are you gigging?
I'm coughing up in Amersham. I'm coughing up like green shit.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound like COVID. That sounds like pneumonia.
You need a little dose of fentanyl.
I had pneumonia.
Just take the edge off.
I came back from India, right? And I got pneumonia, and I was like, I feel like shit. I feel really sick. And my mum was like, "Oh, you're so lazy. Go do this." I was like, "I'm dying. So you're so lazy." Then I went to the hospital, and they went, "Hi, you have pneumonia." Then she changed the fucking tune.
Yeah.
Jesus. So when were you in India?
Years ago, I went to India.
Oh, years ago.
Yeah, and when I came back, I had I got it on the flight. For some reason, the air conditioning. And I got it on the flight, and I flipping was just dying. It actually feels like this. Maybe I've got pneumonia.
Yeah, if you're coughing up green stuff, then possible, because I think that means it's a bacterial infection. Look, my thing comes apart like that, whoosh, and it slots on. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's like spaceships docking.
It does look like some sort of transformer toy.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I also got a loop deck. So what were we talking about?
What about your feud? Are we allowed to talk about Leo's feud with Nick Dixon?
I don't think I am. According to my contract that I signed, I'm not allowed to feuds with colleagues.
Oh right.
Okay.
We'll
move over that. What is it?
We'll save that for a Patreon episode then.
Yeah, I think that's why Nick deleted his tweet.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. What's happening?
It's so funny. I thought he was joking. I thought Nick was joking.
This is such a childish feud. That's why I brought it up, because I like Nick. He should come on the pod. But this feud is such a. Do you want to say or shall I say it?
Just you say it. Then he's not. He can't say it. You can.
I'm not
allowed.
Last
former guest star on the Three Speech podcast was on yesterday with Leo and Nick on headliners on GB News.
Yeah.
So they took a photo together. So Leo's like, let's take a photo together, and Nick refused because he said it would make him look short. Because anyone who stands next to Leo looks short. Anyway,
because I'm tall.
He refused. So then Leo photoshopped in like a midget version of Nick. It's clearly a joke, but then Nick took it like. He took it like, oh,
he had little man syndrome about it.
Yeah, he really did. I was shocked. I was like, what, are you being serious? This is.
You should tell him to be the bigger man. Is he short, Nick?
He's not even short. That's why he's taller. He's taller than Dapper Laughs. And like, yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, I guess he's shorter than me. So
he's lost a lot of weight. He looks much trimmer than Fat Nick when he was cancelled. Do you remember when he got?
Right.
Do you remember when he got cancelled? Or
yeah.
Did he get?
When did he get cancelled?
A while ago. There was some big hoo-ha about something. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
I remember now. I remember the gig said we've got enough straight white guys.
That was it. And
so he got cancelled because of his race and his sexuality and his gender. And imagine if you cancel like someone who wasn't a straight white man for those reasons, you'd go to jail. You literally go to jail.
If you want to talk about that, what about your thing for the BBC? And we've been arguing about this do you laugh at white babies because they're ugly?
Oh yeah, so this was like my wife was watching this show called Love Life, And so the second series it was made like last year or whatever. So it's peak sort of taking the me time, and there's these two black characters and they're texting each other, and one of them texts the other one is like, "Do you ever just look at ugly white babies?" And then text a picture of a baby, and the other one's like, "Yeah, that baby's so ugly it's going to vote for Donald Trump." Ugh. And it wasn't portrayed as, wow, what a couple of cunts. It was portrayed as, this is good, this is what we should be doing. And it's like, are you mental?
How can those kids vote for Donald Trump when they grow up? He's going to be dead.
Exactly. Maybe not though. Maybe he'll still be going strong.
Yeah, it'd be I think more cyborg Donald Trump.
Yeah, there's more chance of them voting for Donald Trump than voting for Biden.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't watched it because I don't give a fuck. But
what have you been doing, Mooch, since you've been away?
I've been looking after a fucking baby. It's fucking hard.
What do you think I do all day?
Well,
we all look after babies. Piece of piss.
Yeah, I know, but I don't
give them to the woman.
Wife.
Yeah, but that's the thing. My wife was not very well, so she wasn't able to look after the baby.
That's
so
no
I had to be
give
the
it to
wife.
your second wife.
I haven't got one of them yet. I can't afford a second wife. And
Darius, can you send a wife? Can you send a wife round for Mooch, please?
Yeah.
Well, I can. You're Muslim, Mooch. You're allowed 5 wives.
No, not now. Now I am.
Yeah, now you are. Now you're allowed five wives.
I bought this hat from a. It's kind of a shop that sells Muslim-ish clothes. I think it's called Muzwear or Muz. And they have like those baggy, like Aladdin-like trousers, like the drop crotchy sort of things.
But that's Adidas, right?
No, it's not. It's not. It's.
Well, it looks like it's Adidas.
It's got 3 stripes.
Yeah, it's got the Adidas stripes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't believe these Muslims are stealing Adidas's copyrighted symbols.
Abi Bass.
So why is that Muslim instead of just like a hat?
I don't know. I think it's just kind of I don't know if it's a Muslim type of hat.
Because I do see them wearing that kind of hat. Also, a big long dress.
Yeah.
Guys, do you remember in Pimlico? Do you remember in Pimlico when we're coming back from the gym and there's those girls who are handing out flyers and there's some guy hassling them and they said, "Can you two help us?" And it was a guy, like a Muslim guy in the big long dress. And then so I was like, "Whoa, what are you doing, mate? You know what I mean? Don't stop hassling the girls." And he pulls off his dress. I thought underneath it would be like, you know what I mean, like a lingerie set. But it wasn't. He had like a tracksuit and stuff on underneath. And it's like, is that what? So you just put the dress on over the top, and you got the tracksuit under. You could just wear the tracksuit. You know what I mean? Is the dress a religious thing?
Why did he flash his tracksuit at you?
You were there.
No, I can't remember it.
We're walking back, so it was out pretty near Pimlico Tube, and the girls were handing out flyers for it.
But why was he flashing his tracksuit? It makes no sense.
No, he took his to fight. He took his big dress off. And then underneath there's no, because you were like, "Oh, the police are coming," and then me and him were like, "Oh shit!" But then the police weren't coming. You just said it to stop us fighting.
A clever line by me.
And and also so these girls would be like, you guys, can you help us?" And I think you just didn't watch, but I was like, I was like, what are you doing, mate? And then after, the guy turned around, the girls are just gone. There's no thanks for.
Thanks for almost getting in a fight for our honor. That's why chivalry is dead. I'm not fighting for no one.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried fighting in a dress? It's probably not very in a or anything which is kind of like constricting of your legs or arms or something like that. It's probably not the best.
Yeah.
But this guy's obviously he's had that issue before, and he's like, I'm not falling. Yeah. I'm not having this issue again.
That's why I'm with the Northern Alliance in Afghanistan. That's why they fell against the Taliban because the dresses.
Yeah, it should be.
What else has been going on? I've given 2 stories. I've given the New Zealand story. I've given the Twitter files.
There's the non-binary head of the American sort of head of
stealing
nuclear waste.
The nuclear waste cabinet member person who was relieved of his job because of luggage theft accusations, repeated ones.
Repeated. So it wasn't just one. And like the one that came to prominence, the one that got him caught first. So he was there. He hadn't checked in any luggage. So there's no way. He didn't even have the sort of plausible deniability of, I picked up the wrong luggage. He just totally like went and took somebody else's luggage.
Yeah.
And he's obviously wrong, and I could tell that from looking at him. You know what I mean? I mean, that's, quite often I find my bigotry is rewarded.
I mean, it was obvious. Listen, if I saw him, I wouldn't leave him alone with my kids or my luggage. That is one thing I knew for a fact.
Yeah,
or my makeup.
Or like
your makeup,
or any food in my fridge.
Rather. I wouldn't leave my hat. I think it's called a taibi or something. This, and it's a Muslim prayer cap. So I probably should.
The journalist. Yeah, Matt Taibbi, the journalist who's exposing the Twitter files. Matt Taibbi.
Is that what? Have I got this?
Which in Syria means Matt the Hat.
Matt the Hat. So that guy, that's mad. Like, surely that must be quite. Was it sort of historical, or was he doing it since he's got the job in the White House?
Yeah, no, it's as far as I can tell, it's like a long history of doing it. Like he's done it like dozens of times. And he steals like women's clothes and all the rest of it. Probably puts it on TikTok and is like, "Oh, look, I stole it." And everybody's like, "Oh, you go, girl. Oh yeah, no, you should be stealing, it's reparations or whatever." You know what I mean? Like,
is it kind of like a Winona Ryder thing where it's kind of the thrill of it? Like he doesn't need the money, but he just likes
like a Richard Madeley thing.
Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of a lucky dip. Like, look, listen, no one is enjoying long haul air travel. But if there's like a game, really?
Yeah, Darius, do you like it? It's quite fun. You get like all your food in it. There's infinite booze. You get your food in a little thing.
Infinite booze? When was the last time you were on a flight?
Probably coming back from like a long haul one, coming back from Australia. No, Dubai. It would have been Dubai.
Did give you infinite booze on
infinite?
Infinite.
Like anytime you want, you go up. Oh, you don't need to just sit in your seat and wait for them to bring it. You can ring the bell and they bring it to you, or you can go up to. What I do is I go up to the galley, I chat to them, and I'm like, "Give me more booze. Give me more booze right now.
Give me more booze right now. Yeah. I'm Ollie Chris."
Yeah. Also, I pretend I'm with like 4 people, and I'm like, they all want booze as well.
Yeah, so you just point back to those guys there.
That at the front of the plane wants booze.
I want some booze. What's your favourite type of booze?
Gash bombs.
Gash bombs. We haven't had a gash.
You know what I really like?
Can we do
coffee-flavoured tequila?
Do you know what that's called?
I didn't hear what you said.
Coffee-flavoured tequila is called XO.
Is it Patron?
Patron. Yeah, they've discontinued it. They don't do it anymore.
Have they?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
Ago, I think because it's kind of not. I'm not sure because it was probably one of their best-selling ones, maybe.
Yeah, that's weird.
Patron XO. Yeah. They discontinued it.
I had some last year.
Yeah, I mean it's still about, but you can't buy it from the coffee. Maybe you can.
It's like the McRib.
Maybe is it discontinued? The drink was.
When are we going to do a next podcast from the actual studio? Do you not go into the studio ever now, Mooch? Is that the situation?
Well, it's just like my missus is not 100% yet, and the kid my kid now is in nursery full days, so I could probably come in, but also we are breaking up for Christmas, so in January I might be able to, but I've also got a couple of big projects that are going to need my full attention in the new year. So
how much does nursery cost?
I'm not sure, but it's more than I'm happy to pay. It's essentially the long and short of it.
I looked at nursery costs and I was like, that's more than I earn. I was like, I'll be the nursery person.
Yeah, but
I'll be the nursery.
I've got shit to do that I need to get. So basically, I'm probably not going to be able to do the pod for a few months in 2023. But Jonathan's cool.
Yes,
And also, now that we've got a Jew involved, then we can't be accused of anti-Semitism.
Well, but you know the problem with Jonathan is he's got more of a flipping. Can you do the podcast? No, he's just another factor in the mix of just mixing and can't do it and then hassling.
Well, I don't think you can blame that on Jonathan. I think you all.
It's Jonathan's fault.
It's Jonathan's fault.
We almost didn't do this record because I'm not sure why.
Why don't we go into the studio tomorrow and do another record so we've got a few in the bank?
I got a day off tomorrow for the first time in ages.
Well, Leo's got the day off. Let's go. Can we get any space tomorrow in the studio?
No. I mean, I've got the day off.
No,
so no podcast.
Yeah, you will do the podcast, Leo.
No.
Come in an hour, go to the gym, have a fun time.
Oh, there's no trains.
It's absolutely.
I've got the day off because I cancelled Lotus Eaters because the trains are fucked.
It's packed, guys, as well. Like the studios are so busy because obviously the World Cup meant that not everyone could record in the evenings. Anyway, this is top podcasting that I'm sure everyone really gives a fuck about. And Leo, what are you doing? Why are you trying to? You're just balancing a wire.
It's a circus trick.
My internet's so shit. Okay, so listen to the listeners. The reason why the podcasts have been a bit inconsistent and sporadic, not just because we're lazy, which is a factor. It has also been the World Cup has been taking up our schedules because of the studios not being out of action.
Because we've been playing in it.
Yeah, and that's why. So now we're compelled to do the podcast from parts unknown, and it's a little. And even this one,
smooth as always.
Nico can't make.
Nico can't make turning on the camera from home.
That is a big ask.
But he's also ill, and I was ill for a bit, so I can't really.
I'm ill. I just told you I'm coughing up green stuff with traces of blood.
Yeah.
I still come on. I still do the pod.
And you're doing a gig as well. I respect people who gig and like cough and spit all over people in a cramped room when they're deeply ill. I've done that before. I've done it. I've done it with COVID.
I'm gonna do and I'm gonna get on the Metropolitan line to get there. So I'm gonna do it to all the. Someone gave it to me.
Oh man, yeah, you better leave early, man. The Metropolitan line, like fuck me, that thing's made out of wood. Like literally, the rails are made out of wood. That thing's so old. It's like fucking pulled by donkeys, man. You better. I got screwed by. I was on the Metropolitan line when I lived in Chesham, and I got on the thing. It'd be like quicker to like get the train from Birmingham. I got on the tube from Chesham to come in to do Comedy Carnival in like Leicester Square, and man, that thing, like we went through and then we stopped on the track between stations, so nobody could get on or off. It was mental. Then I had to get a £60 Uber, and I was late. And you know who stole my spot? It was who's that guy? English guy, plays the bagpipes. Is an actor and stuff. David Whitney, yeah, that's who took my spot.
You lived with him?
Came huffing up the stairs like right before I got there, like because they'd obviously put in the WhatsApp group, can anybody cover for Leo if he doesn't get here, and he like just ran up the stairs and ran on stage, because that's, man, there's no loyalty between comedians. He couldn't have just waited a couple of minutes to see if I turn up, man. He just wanted that stage time.
The funny thing is though is that you actually lived with him and you couldn't remember his name.
Yeah,
but everyone gets that. Everyone has sort of brain farts where they can't remember. Did anyone watch the Harry and Meghan documentary?
There's a new one out today, or 3 new ones. Did you watch the new ones today?
My missus was watching it as I left the house today. I didn't.
Did she have any interesting things from it?
I don't know. I mean, apparently there's a bit more controversy in this one. I'm not sure what it is. I'm seeing some stuff on Twitter, but look, it's a weird one because I know you guys are of the opinion it's kind of like, oh, what a privileged place to be, and you can't really complain about.
Don't lump me in it. Listen, my thing on the thing is this.
Your thing on the thing.
And Harry and all this. Yeah, my opinion on Meghan and Harry and the royal family is this. Look, I was upset when the Queen died, but I am objectively against the royal family in all shapes, forms. So I hate all of them. Therefore, I also hate Meghan, but only because she's a royal.
Yeah.
Right. I think that
right.
needs to be abolished. The whole thing needs to go. They could stay.
Meghan is racist because she's part of the royal family.
That's right. Well, they can stay as the royal family, but they don't get any money. They give us all the palaces back, and they just can stay on the money and stuff, because I like tradition and I don't want Boris Johnson or someone on the money. But in general, I'm against the royals. I haven't watched it.
I don't think it'd be like the Queen or Boris Johnson. I think it might be some other options.
I was chatting to Louis. I said, we should get rid of the Queen who's here. But the problem is, right, you get rid of the royal family, then you've got a republic. Then the main person of state, who is it? It's the Prime Minister. So it'd be Boris Johnson. He'd be the main person who answers to no one.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it is already. I mean, it's kind of like the royal family and the head of state is kind of it's not fine. They ratify things and they have the final say, but it's all pomp. It's not actually any power with it. I mean, obviously there is power with it and there's influence, but it's not.
They should make Prince Andrew. They should make Prince Andrew the king and tell him he can do what he wants. I want to see that. I want to see that Netflix documentary.
Was it good though? Have you seen?
I think that was called Cuties.
Mooch's favourite show.
Did you watch Meghan and Harry? What happened? Have you watched it, Leo?
Well,
I watched one episode. I watched like episode 3. You know, they released 3 at the start. So I watched the third. It was just, man, it was so fucking boring. It was so boring. Like, I know you've sort of got to watch it to then get outraged by it, but it was really hard watching it and then trying to get outraged about, like, you know, the really outrageous thing is just how they got paid $112 million to make something so deathly dull. And then, so this one, they've come up with some new stuff, so it's like, Kate made her cry or some bullshit like, it's all this crybaby bullshit, man. They should all just be fed in a fucking mincer.
I do agree that the press overstep like boundaries. I do think that the press do manipulate, and we all agree that the press manipulate stories to their for their convenience or for other people's powers. Do you know what I mean? Like the Twitter file, the mainstream media. And I don't think we can be like, okay, cool, the mainstream media is fucked, apart from when it comes to Harry and Meghan, when they're 100% right. No, they're fucked. They're malicious. They're conniving. They're devious, and they're at the whim of people who want to control the narrative. And I don't. Yeah,
but nobody was. That's happened to all the royals since like the dawn of time.
And I agree with you that has happened since the dawn of time, but I also don't agree that it's right, and I don't think that anyone can, like, one of the things that they talked about is how.
And I've got breaking news. This is good. I was bored of what you were saying, Mooch. We agree.
What's your breaking news?
The breaking news is She-Hulk has been cancelled.
Good.
I'm
glad.
Leo, you were watching that. You said you were getting into it.
Oh man, no, watching it, like, it's just like you can't sort of take your eyes off it, but it's absolutely abysmal. It's abysmal. Babe, She-Hulk's been cancelled. She-Hulk's been cancelled.
Is she going to get really angry? Is she going to get really angry about it?
Oh, Darius has been cancelled as well. She said, "Thank the live Lord Jesus."
Okay.
What did you say? She says, "Thanks be to the living Lord Jesus." I'm not a leprechaun. Oh, begorra, where's me pot of gold? Where's me potato?
For someone who's Gaelic, technically.
She-Hulk has been cancelled.
Another
failure of Marvel MC.
Yeah, tell us your analysis of that, Darius.
Man, I'll tell you the analysis of that. The analysis of this is the same as the analysis. Look, you can make...
listen, cross the road.
Yeah, you can make programs and films that include diversity, and when they're done well,
you can't.
Spider-Man, you can, like Spider-Man No Way Home, when they had the 3 Spider-Mans, it had a diverse cast, but no one gave a shit because it wasn't round. It wasn't like, I am doing this for like black female empowerment. It's like, he has a black friend, or they would just happen to be it. Whereas She-Hulk, everything, when they overtly try to be woke and pander.
Oh, they lay it on so thick. You know what I mean? They lay it on so thick. It's like the Megan Thee Stallion thing. It's like, oh, she's such an empowered, amazing woman. Oh, twerking is so wonderful. Oh, it's, you know, like, it's just so, like,
no one gives a shit.
Obviously, like, nobody get, like, all right, you like fucking, why would that even matter? Like, what you like, what's so fucking great about twerking? Because it's like, obviously, because it's like, you know, ethnic minority people or whatever doing it. Like, that's why they like, they lay it on so thick.
No one wants this. Even woke people who you pander to don't want the content. So just make good content and make new if you want to get a diverse cast or a diverse character, make a new character, use a diverse cast, but don't make it your whole thing is, oh look, we're so woke, because it's just shit. And that's why Marvel fucking just failed, because it's just obviously just drizzling shit aimed at nobody, and it insults the actual fans of the nerds who are the ones who supported them through the last 10 years. They're like spitting them in their face, going, oh, they're all toxic masculinity. So these fucking nerds kept you there, which is the same reason why Rings of Power has died a complete death. And it's just,
is it bad? They're making a new series of it. Did it make
Rings of Power was the most expensive TV show ever produced.
$1 billion.
I think over £1 billion. Each episode cost 100 million. The first thing they did was shit all over the fans, right? And the fans have just turned against it. And they tried to say, oh, they review bombed us and this and that. No one watched it because it was shit. People will watch it if it's good.
People watch it if it's good. And there's some woke stuff that is good. Like I watched, what's her name? The lassie who dresses up as a man called, is it Nathan or something? I think she's called Natalie Garoffides or something. But
Natalie Imbruglia.
No, she's like, I think she's Australian or Kiwi, and she does this male character. Do you know who I'm talking about? I can't remember her name, but man, it was obviously everything in it was like about toxic masculinity and patriarchy and oppression and stuff. But it was really well done. She's really talented. It was really funny, and I enjoyed it. Like I don't enjoy Sophie Hagen or who are the other ones that are shite. I can't remember any names of any ones like that. But yeah, you can watch it like as a regressive bigot. I can watch stuff like that and totally enjoy it, but man, it's got to be good. And the thing that fucked Rings of Power actually wasn't even the fact that they had this.
What is it?
It's Amazon. Amazon paid for a Lord of the Rings. They bought Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So, but the thing that fucked it wasn't the diversity or anything. Actually, the diversity, I watched the first episode, and the bit that was enjoyable was the stuff where it was Lenny Henry and all this sort of like they had all these sort of, I guess, black sort of gypsy type people, and they were like fun and engaging and characterful. The stuff that was boring was when it was all like the elves, and it's just the thing that fucks it is it's like these are the good guys, these are the bad guys, and it's like, man, like you can't just say these people are inherently good and these people are inherently bad. There's got to be, like in The Sopranos, there's like character development. You can see why people make those decisions. They're making them in their own best interest or something, but they're not like going out there to try and be evil. It's like the evil is done like as a side effect of like whatever. There's other motivations.
And it's not just, but when I'm talking about woke and diverse, I'm not talking just about the like the characters you see on screen. It's also the writers and the directors. Marvel have gone out of their way. Actually, Marvel Disney, so they've just had to fire their CEO, bring in the old guy because he was doing such a bad job.
Yeah, that's right.
They bring in these so The Eternals was one of the big tentpole films of this Marvel phase, right? Complete shit. They used a Chinese director, Zhu or whatever her name is. She'd done one film called Nomadland, which was like a one-shot camera kind of artsy thing. She just didn't have the experience or the talent to do a blockbuster mega show, right? Yeah. I know a writer. In fact, we all know a writer, who wrote on Loki. It was one of the worst reviewed episodes, and I'm pretty certain that person.
NICO.
I can't. No,
who was
NICO would write a good episode.
I'm joking.
Fisher K. Ali now writes for Loaded, right? She used to do stand up in London on the open mic. For Marvel. She wrote. She for Loki. She wrote episode of Loki, and she writes stuff for Disney Marvel now.
She wrote. I'm sure she wrote some as She-Hulk.
She probably did. She was on.
She writes She-Hulk by the She Soar.
She did that. She was one of the worst all-time comedians, like, literally the unfunniest comedian I've ever seen. And it wasn't that, she was but the reason why is because she was inexperienced, and she's inexperienced, and now they're putting her
and she's a woman.
Well, anyway, the point is, if you want to talk about women,
do you?
If you want to talk,
let's talk about women.
Well, we should be thankful that the woman from the Hunger Games is the first main protagonist that females have to look up to. What did she say? Did you see this story?
No, what's this?
She said, so the woman from the Hunger Games, who was the girl who starred in the Hunger Games?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence says, before she starred in the Hunger Games, there was no strong female characters ever in Hollywood.
Serious? Are you joking?
She came out. No, Google it right now. I'll Google it.
That's
Jennifer
hilarious.
Lawrence.
Well, I can't because I'm using my phone for filming this.
All right. Well, I'll Google it and I'll read the. I'll read what
you Google it.
Full a bit sick. Jennifer Lawrence. What did she say? She said, Jennifer Lawrence now responds to backlash over interviews. What would she say? Jennifer Lawrence interview. She said before she did the Hunger Games, there were no strong female characters. Jennifer Lawrence roasted for saying she was the first woman action lead.
That's hilarious.
And just saying that Terminator never happened, Alien never happened, Aliens never happened, all these films never happened.
Mrs. Doubtfire never happened.
He was the first.
The Fly never happened.
Well,
what else was there? RoboCop had a strong female.
Well, talk about RoboCop. Remember San Francisco for like 2-week period? Like, we're going to bring in killer robots. Remember that?
That was a great idea. No, so then police officers don't get hurt.
They've reversed it. They're doing it.
They should reverse the robot over somebody's head.
They are doing it. They've reversed their stance on not.
Oh, they're doing it.
Yeah.
Jeez. Good. But it's a good idea. Oh, so everybody's worried that, like, oh my god, oh no, the robot could do something bad, and it's like, well, yeah, but you're saying police do stuff that's bad, so why? Surely a robot's going to be safer, like less. Like, it doesn't have any knees.
So I was just going to say,
it doesn't have any knees, so it can't kneel on anyone's neck.
Yeah, it's or get down on one knee for BLM. So
yeah. They could probably just run a program, play something on a little screen like a Teletubby.
Mooch, how long has this been? So we need to do a Patreon episode as well. Or maybe.
Well, let's wrap this one up and let's finish talking about this robot in the Patreon-only episode.
Yeah, Patreon-only episode.
We've been going an hour, but there was a lot of faffing at the start.
No, it was all gold.
Like and subscribe. Listen, I've got pneumonia. Leo.
I've got to pick up a child in half an hour as well, so we need to do this now.
Yeah, and I've got to go to Amazon, so we're going to. So
I've got old pneumonia.
And subscribe and give us more money on Patreon. Go on.
And if you sign up to our Patreon, you can see like what we're going to talk about next,
which will be riveting.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to is this the Patreon episode yet?